we're here today to confirm whether or not this thing is low on gas. So long story short, I came out a couple of months ago for a maintenance, determined that this one was low on refrigerant. If I can find the data, I'll throw it up, or I'll find it on my computer at some point and try to throw it up. But yeah, confirmed this one was low on refrigerant. Now, there was no additional gas charges written anywhere on this unit. So anyway, I put it through. Turns out it was actually our mech team that installed this one, and the office couldn't confirm whether or not the additional refrigerant charge had been added to these units. So yeah, look, not ideal obviously, but what we're going to try to do today is we're going to pump this thing down, recover the gas. I think the base charge on this is something like 9.5 kilos. So if we only pull out 9.5 kilos, we've kind of confirmed that, you know, no additional's been added, and then we can just go down that path, right? I think the total charge on this is like an extra 15 or whatever, so it'd be pretty low. But if we pull out more than the 9.5, then we can go down the path of doing a leak search. So we're just in the process now of getting ready. First bottle's on vac now. But yeah, we'll jump into it. Okay, so we're gonna pump this thing down. So first thing I need to do, shut everything down. There we go. Alrighty, so to get this thing to pump down, first thing you need to do, SW6-10 to on. That's getting it basically into like a function mode. And then I can't remember the designation off the top of my head, but it's 912, and then you basically input that combination into SW4, and that will get you into pump down mode. So there we go. I've put that combination in, 912. It will go into a pump down mode now, which basically means so this thing will run all of the indoor units into a test cooling. Now what I need to go do is close off that ball valve. I'll put a screen grab up of the base of the process, but we're going to close the high side port 45 degrees. That's just their recommendation for it to be better. So we'll get that done now. Perfect, that'll be fine. Easy. All right, we've abandoned the pump down idea. It was just taking too long. So I was in a race. It was going to be, if I could set this up faster than this would go into pump down, then I would do it. The only reason I really wanted to do the pump down mode anyway was pretty much because I don't have the reclaim kit on me, the Appion reclaim kit. So I'm pulling through the 1/4 inch hoses. So I figured it was going to be easier to pull most of it out from here, but it was just taking too long. So we're basically all set up now. We're going to start recovering the gas. Yeah, first we'll purge up to here. Okay, so we'll go here. Okay, yep, open up those two and I'll go around. Sorry, thanks mate. Yeah, crack it. Yes. Oops. All right, let's rock and roll. So I've got a feeling we're not actually going to be low. We've taken out about 5 kilos now. Head pressure's going to be high, so I'm just going to quickly cool this thing down. But it does appear that the additional has been added, so that's always a bonus. So what we're going to do now is just pull the rest of the gas out and see what we get. I know what the base charge, I know what the full charge should be. I'll just got to remember what it is. I think about 25 kilos or 21 kilos, one of the two. I've got the data sheet somewhere. So, but we're just going to cool this thing down, keep reclaiming, and we'll see what we pull out. All right, so just a quick double check. So the base kilo on this is actually 8. So we've already surpassed that. So refrigerant has been added to it. That's always a bonus, you know. At least we've eliminated that as a possibility. One thing I have noticed, unfortunately, is it does appear to be B-press fittings. Now, obviously, I do have a feeling there's like a limit on how close you're supposed to be to the compressor when you do that kind of stuff. So, I don't know. I'll have to look into that. Yeah, we'll look into that. But yeah, it does look like we're going to be looking for a leak today. We're coming down. I just did a double check, and the total charge on this should be about 23 kilos. We're up to 14.4 now with about 300 kPa left. So doubtful we're going to pull out another 9 to 10 kilos out of this thing. So yeah, I've got my leak detector on charge now, getting ready for it. All right, so we're just pulling up the capping here now to have a look at the pipe work. Looking for any signs of oil. So far, nothing. It's this set here. Obviously, we can't check it going up to the wall, but we're going to prop that up there just to have a look there. Basically, comes through here, comes down. So, yeah, so far, nothing standing out. What have we got now? We're at about 17.5 with 90 kPa left. So we're not going to pull out another 6 kilos. Honestly, I reckon I'm going to shut this thing down here now, and we will start doing a bit of a visual. We'll jump up to the roof. You know, it's the black lagging, so sometimes you can see oil and shit. Hopefully that's what we're going to see. If not, we'll make an assessment from there. It's all looking pretty good back there. No oil stains. Yeah, beautiful. Chuck it down. So we're just going to jack it up with some nitro now. We pulled out about 18 kilos. So again, like 6 kilos short, or 6 kilos short or whatever. With about that, we dropped down to about 50 kPa before I cut it out. So I hazard to guess there's like a kilo at max left in there. So anyway, we'll get this thing in with some nitro. We're up in the roof space now, just seeing if we can see any oil stains. So yeah, see what we find. Found our branch box, address 60. I've just pulled the cover off to confirm that it is actually address 60. All right, we'll see if we can hear anything. I'll have a look at the pipe work too. Again, I'll see if I can do this in one hand, but getting multiple leaks up here. This one actually looks semi-oily. I'll show you that. So. It's hard doing this with one hand. Yeah, so we'll hit that with blue too. Yeah, we'll keep searching. I think at this point it's just easier for me to go get big blue and just spray everything and just see what we find. You can see I've left this on for a little bit and it comes across, but it's not really going to come across, is it? Hold on. You can kind of see in there.
Yeah, I can see it right like on this angle.
Yeah.
Right underneath it.
Try and zoom in on this. Oh, there we go, that's a bit better. So there's our little micro cluster at the top there. So just decided to chuck some more nitro in it. We'll probably get it up to about, I don't know, 2,500, maybe 3,000 kPa. Let that sit. We're going to go cut all the insulation around the bends and try to find all the B-press fittings. Just hit it with the leak detector. And honestly, if we get a hit, it'll get replaced. That's kind of where we're at the moment. All right, here we go. All right, we're back at the branch box. So plan now is basically to go and cut the insulation. I'll try to feel in the straight bits, but I mean, you know, without it being marked, it's going to be almost impossible to find out without ripping it all off. So what I'll do, yeah, basically go through, cut all the elbows, test all of those, and anything that gets a hit with the leak detector is getting replaced. So, made it this far. I feel like I've been doing it for an hour already. I found three that are leaking so far. They all do seem to be relatively small, like, you know, but I'm getting, my criteria here is if I get a hit, I'll go back 2 more times. If I get the same hit 3 times, it's leaking. I'm not gonna worry about big blue this time. And after all that, I've only dropped 3 kPa as well in about an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah, very interesting. What we're going to do anyway, we're going to isolate the ball valves there. So basically close them off, separate the pipework and indoor branch box and all that from the outdoor. And then we'll have to come back and repair those. And then in the meantime, when we do come back, we can obviously see if our condenser here has dropped, because we'll take the temp and record all that data. So when we come back, we can do the calculation to work out if we're where we should be sitting pressure wise. So we don't have the materials here today to get this done. So the idea, like I said, we're going to close those ball valves off, when we come back. At least that way we can confirm 100% that there's no leaks in the condenser, and that the only leaks are in the field piping and indoor units. So yeah, we'll come back pretty soon, I imagine, try to get the thing up and running pretty quickly. So yeah, we'll leave this particular part of the video here. We are back. It's the following day, so we'll jump into seeing what our pressure tests results are. Yeah. Okay, so I put one gauge on my condenser side and one on my fuel piping side, and just to add to the fun of this job, both sides have risen. So I put in about 25.50 yesterday at about 16 degrees. I'll throw the photos up. And now we're reading, I think it was 25.70 on my fuel piping side and 2600 on my condenser side. So there may have been obviously like oil, like maybe some refrigerant boiled off in the oil or whatever, you know. Either way, it's really shaping up to be an odd one, this one. Yeah. I'm gonna go back up with my leak detector and quickly run over everything again, because once I had, I was getting some odd readings, right? So there was a couple where I'd go in, I'd get 1 or 2 hits, I'd move it away to let it, like, because mine's an infrared leak detector, and it wouldn't hit again. And I was like, okay, what the fuck? So that happened like multiple times. And so I ended up coming down and I changed the filter. Like, it was dirty, but it wasn't, you know, not enough for me to think that it was going to affect it. But the only one that I got consistent hits on and visually could see with the bubbles was that branched control on. So we're just going to go up and hit that again. I really just want to confirm, because if this thing, you know, like I said, with the amount of like lack of information around whether or not they, you know, the office, like I said, didn't know if we'd even added the additional charge to this one. Maybe they just didn't add the correct charge to start off with, because in any other circumstance with these results, I'd pass that. Like, if this was a new system, this would be passed and we'd be vacuuming out right now. But, you know, we're 5 kilos short. So yeah, I'm gonna grab the leak detector, quickly run upstairs and hit that B-press fitting again. Okay. I am still getting a very small hit on that fitting, so I think we will have to change that at minimum. Now, the annoying thing is, look how much space we've got to work with here, man. That's an absolute nightmare, eh? Well, honestly, what I'm thinking, I'm wondering, I've never done this before, and I don't know if I can even do it, but I'm gonna try cutting that B-press fitting out, hey? Like, using maybe like my little rotary tool to slit the top across here, and see if I can, you know, get that to, yeah, I don't know. And then that way, at least I've got more pipe to play with on this side here, and we can even try to like expand it there. It's not an ideal situation, obviously. It's kind of, yeah, anyway. So just trying to do a bit of prep work at the moment. I've taken off the lid just to so I can obviously get, if any wires were touching, I might be able to, I'll put a cold rag there. Just trying to protect the branch box as much as possible. But the plan is I'm literally gonna go through with a die grinder and see if I can split that fucker and then prop it open. It's yeah, it's not ideal. So I've gone through just trying to sand a bit of that insulation stuff off. But the more I go through, you can kind of see, it does look like it's kind of just clipped just a bit of it. Mainly down here, you can kind of see it. So you can see that black insulation. Maybe when they've done the crimp on this one, they've just done it a little bit too close to the branch box. And it just hasn't sealed quite 100%. Pipe's cut. Let's give this a try. I'm hoping for the best on this one, man. I've never done this before. There we go. Stoked. So originally the plan was going to be to swage that, but now that I'm swimming in space, you know, what I'm thinking I might do is I've got this bit here. I'm going to cut this down. It's probably a bit big for what I need now. But basically, I'm going to get that to sit there. I'm going to solder that. I'm going to then solder the shit out of that. Just because, you know, like I said, the damage to the pipe from me is not actually that bad. It's just that. hold on. Turn that light off. I don't know if that's not making it any better. Hold on. There you go. That's not bad. I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest with you. So now that I've got that, what I'll do is I'll pre-weld this bit. Oh, you know what? Maybe I can even just leave it there and just have the weld. We'll see. I'll work out what I'm going to do there. But anyway, I'll pre-weld this bit. This bit here onto this pipe. So all I'm doing is the 2 welds. Stoked, man. That's awesome. Alrighty, now that I've got that done, just doing a bit of prep work, trying to get this as clean as possible. Then we'll cut this, and then we'll go set up our nitro outside. All right, just getting ready to purge some nitro for these last 2 welds. So, close, open. All right, we can open this. All right, let's go purge. Probably gonna take a while. Come back. It's obviously going through all the indoor heads, branch box too. Anyway, I'll wait for that to come through. Right, chuck this thing on a braze now. Let's get under the roof and do it. All right, we are ready. Let's get this thing done, man. Okay, it's not my finest work. This one was pretty difficult, trying to get into that really tight space there with this in the way, and anyway. But get that in there. And then this one. So they look all right. We're gonna go do a pressure test now. Just put that bottle in. I'm just gonna go up there with that amount of pressure in there with some Big Blue, just to confirm if there are any big leaks. I assume I'd see it here if it were, but I'm gonna go hit it with Big Blue just to confirm. We are looking pretty good up here. So I'm happy to get that back in place. Yeah. All right, while I was messing around upstairs, hasn't dropped anything. I'll put this thing, get the other bottle of nitro, we'll put it up to like 2500 again, do another pressure test, and then get this thing on vac. And then I've got to go through and start doing all the insulation and shit that I've ripped apart. So that's gonna be fun. Just having a look at the inside of this part. This is the other section that I took off. This is one I was kind of practicing on before I did the... Anyway, you can kind of see, like, it damages the inside. Well, it doesn't, like, it deforms the inside of the pipe a fair bit, hey? Like, maybe someone who knows a bit more about this than me can mention in the comments, but I don't know, it just seems like if you've got a whole pipe, like, you know, a whole field piping filled with B-press fittings with all those little, you know, kind of deformities in the pipe, is that going to create a massive restriction in the end? I don't know. Just in the process of getting the gear set up. I've still got the condenser closed off. I'll let the I'm gonna let basically all the pressure out, and then once this gets to about maybe, I don't know, 25 kPa or whatever, start open up the vac pump, do the rest that way. So that way the condenser and the compressor have never been open to atmosphere. Yeah, looking pretty good. Although, to be fair, I would have said that this morning too. I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to get this thing on vac now. I'm going to try to set it up in a way in which I can potentially leave this one back overnight, because I've still got a fair amount of work to do in terms of, like, you know, packing up all the stuff that I've done and fixing everything that I've ripped apart. So I reckon that might work. It's in there. I've got that on. So nitro's still in here. I haven't got that open yet. I'm just vacuuming out the line set currently. I put that onto the Schrader port that's there. I haven't depressed it, obviously. And then we will release the nitro from here. There we go. Yep, we'll release the nitro. Yeah, there we go. We'll release the nitro from there, and then once that's about, yeah, maybe 25 kPa, we'll open up to the vacuum pump, and whole system's under vac. Falling down, about 1200 microns now. Almost release all the pressure from the condenser, and then I'll open up the ball valves. Back in the roof, I'm going to start packing up all this stuff. Obviously got to fix the insulation up here, but I'm going to start with just getting this all back together. Condenser's now open as well to the vacuum pump, so it's obviously jumped up a bit, but it's coming down. I'm just making my way now to the outdoor unit, and bloody just ran out of this insulation tape, so cut it, glue it, and then insulation tape, but Now, looks like the rest will have to wait until tomorrow so I can get more of this. Right, this is the setup for the night. That trade shade to protect it from the, it's not supposed to rain, but you know, always prepare for like it is. Anyway, got my vac pump snugly in here with my bleed there as well. I'll put the cover on. I swapped just to the 1/2 inch hose because I just felt like I was having issues with my smaller 1/4 inch hose. Maybe the seals on it are not the greatest. I'll have to look into that, but this should do for the time being. So yeah, the insulation's all done on the roof. Yeah, it was a bit of a mission. I cut a lot while I was up there. So yeah, anyway. Right, it's the following day, we're back. I had to hook up my gauges because my vacuum gauge in there ran out of batteries and it's in an annoying spot. So just hooked this up to get a bit of a reading. So pretty happy with that. That's reading from the far end of the system currently. So we're just gonna get ready to charge up. Alrighty, so I've got my gauges set up there. They're both obviously closed off to the system. What I've done is I've closed off the ball valve to the suction line. I'm going to send it down the suction line, so it's going to come back the long way, go through the condenser before it even hits the compressor. So, alrighty, set up. Right, so the I got a little bit in there, so I've decided I'm going to chuck it into a test heat. So this is our system here. You can see there we're still low. We haven't got, we've probably only got half in there. So what we're going to do, yeah, we'll get this thing into a test heat and we'll go charge up the rest. Got the full charge in there now, so I'm just going to go ahead and put some new shraders in. That I can just snap the gauges, close this up properly, and then we'll go have a look at the data. Wanted to quickly show you something as well, something I've noticed. So this particular setup, I actually did another video where I'd done a similar, basically this is kind of like a retirement village. So they have this big clubhouse type thing, and it's a big room. So these two 14 kilowatt ducteds there actually operate the same area, right? But watch this. So currently it's in auto mode. Watch what happens when you change it to heat. There we go, heat. So you can see it drops down there. So they've changed the 4 degree offset for this one and not for that one. So we'll pop up there and change that. Here's our indoor. So you can see SW1, 1 needs to be on to read from the thermostat, and 3.8 needs to be on to disable the 4 degree offset. Okay, on. And oops. On. Reapply power. Went ahead and changed those settings and monitored it for a little while, ran it through a test mode, and everything was looking pretty good. These particular systems, the indoors, there's two 14 kilowatt ducteds. They've decided to run fresh air to them, but they're not fresh air units. So you see that a little bit, unfortunately, and the typical result is that your TH2 or your in heating mode, your liquid thermistor will run colder. So your LED will open up more, trying to compensate for that to get it higher, but it just doesn't ever get it there. It's not something we can do or I can change. So outside of that, the space temps are looking pretty good. I'll tighten those up or something. Anyway, this thing's working nicely, man. It's doing what it can. Space temps up. Everything's looking pretty good. So I'm going to leave this video here. Thank you for watching.